Yep, like a little kid turned loose in a candy store. Babies, you got Grandpa Coyote here in the Coyote Medicine Show. Only on the Hazy Radio Network. Ooh, this time we're in it for love, baby. Kid in a candy store indeed. I remember when I was a little kid one time. I must have been 3, 4 years old, maybe 5. But I had a cousin or an uncle or something that actually did own a candy store with all the little glass jars with the little, all kinds of different candies in them. I mean, it was an amazing thing. And Mom took me there for a little visit sometime. I think it might have been in Salt Lake City. I don't remember. But someplace. I was a little kid, little. But, ambulatory and in motion already, of course. This kid couldn't wait to grow up and get out of this tiny little hide and get on with it, man. I was kind of anxious back then, but enthused, let's say, yeah. Turn you loose in a candy store. My God, that's paradise for a child, man. You could just go wild, but I was real reserved about it. Just grab the quality stuff, 1 of this, 1 of that, 2 of that, 3 of that, and 7 of those because I wanted to hang on to them for a while. And that was about it. I mean, I wasn't the kid that just had to stuff his mouth and his pockets full. I enjoyed every little bit of it. I like quality even then, not quantity so much, Quantity tends to weigh you down, and then you lose it along the way anyway. It's falling out of your pockets everywhere, which of course is a blessing to everyone else. But you're trying not to bless them in that way. You want to bless yourself. That's the empty little kid that only candy can fulfill because Mom and Daddy and whoever else is in their life didn't do it before. Poor little child. Well, babies, we all choose our path and we all have our own way, but there ain't nothing more joyous than a kid turned loose in a candy store, man. I'll tell you what. Well, I had another uncle that had like a Dairy Queen or Dairy King or something like that, one of those hamburger, hot dog, and soft ice cream joints on a major tourist highway out there in the Uinta Basin in the wild, ruggedy highlands of the Uinta Mountains and that. Wow, it was a nice place, man. It's a busy little place in the summer too. Lots of tourists out there, man. But when one time we went to visit, and he just opened the door and says, "Help yourselves, kids. Anything you want, make them all. If you need to know how, somebody's there to show you. Blah blah blah." Wow. I didn't know before that you could overdo it. That's the one time the empty kid tried to fill it. Ooh, baby. To me, that was more valuable than a candy store any day. Because that had source and substance to it. And there wasn't nothing like, like foot-long hot dogs. Oh, God, I was in love with those things. They tasted good back in those days. I'm sorry, I know that's pagan and godless these days. But when I was a little kid, well, shoot, I was I was raised by a cattleman, and a cattlewoman too, We had a farm and we had a ranch and, trucking and all kinds of stuff, And that's why our uncles and cousins and stuff had other little businesses too. Everybody was businessy in that family, I tell you. Enterprising, man. I loved it, because you got to participate in their enterprise. Sometimes in a very big way. And sometimes these people really did have a heart that genuine. God, they just blew me away when I'd see that in my relatives there. You know what I mean? Even though I was sitting there with a tummy ache when I was a little kid, nursing my way through it, after overdoing it there at the Polar King, I bless my uncle and my aunt that allowed us to be so wild and free and learn our lesson that way. And believe you me, every time we went to visit there again, we got to help ourselves, but we were real reasonable about it too. Sometimes you have to overdo it. Over-engorge, and then you go out and deal with your bellyache, man. Hopefully you don't have to throw it all up, because that's divine food, man. It's a gift of love, see? People care enough for you that they don't care if they make any money on it. They just want to share with you their abundance. They have a good little business. They're doing all right, and they just want to share with you kids because they love you so much, It's like you had a grandma and a grandpa and all your uncles and aunts. Well, some of them. It's like any family, there are the differences, and those that aren't quite so good with kids, and those that just love you silly. And that was just awesome, man, see? Kid in a candy store, kid in a soft ice cream factory. Oh, my God, I was just in nirvanic paradise, I tell you. Just like I am right now, standing here at these pinnacles of time, right along with you, man. Having made that climb up that mountain of love, that mighty, ruggedy thing. Yeah, we knew the angels were watching us, man. We could feel it. We couldn't maybe see it, but we could sure feel it, man. It's like glue that stuck us to the side of that mountain and kept us going. The motivation that says, yeah, babies, your brothers and sisters are with you, you know. You're going to grow some wings this time, man. You know, I don't think you're going to have to climb back down, baby. I think you're going to be found right there on top forevermore, man. Join with all your brothers and sisters who are making the same climb at the same time, only we didn't know it. It's like most of humanity, we run around in the dark. By the way, speaking of running around in the dark, I posted a... what do you call that? Anyway, a little ditty about Mr. Magoo. Cartoons there, yeah, over on my Facebook page. My personal page is public, so you can still get to it. Unless you've been banned or something. Oh, don't do that. Anywho, you got a little slice of Mr. Magoo there. You can understand a little more of the true aspects of humanity and why we all tend to fumble around it. Have you, I mean, you know, because this is a guy that's really, well, he's blind, really, but he still drives, and he still goes around in this cartoon and just lives a charmed life, even though he mistakes everything for something that it ain't. Thinks he's going to a class reunion and goes to this wild jungly zoo, gets chased around by a ranger but don't even notice it, comes out of there having had a great reunion with all his classmates. The animals loved him. They had a great time. That's one of the cartoons there. But see, that's very metaphorical about how we love to be, you know, live a charmed life despite our blindness. You know, sometimes we're just going with the flow. And we don't always see it correctly, but by golly, it becomes what we see it as, doesn't it? Even if it's a visit to the zoo instead of our class reunion, you know. So I highly suggest you want to get a little giggle and start getting a little more entertained with your own life. I highly suggest you participate with Mr. Magoo, indeedy do. And by the way, you know, have you noticed how, you know, getting into the deeper way here just for a moment, you know, because it goes right along with the theme. The same way we're charmed by our blindness and really start to realize the blessings of love because we are so blind, and therefore we can see the guidance of angels that get us through it all the way. I mean, you know, sometimes you look back and you realize what a close call you've had. Not often when you're going through it, man. You know, the angels are just that slick with you, just maneuver you around. So everything is charmed, despite how down it might get or up it might get, you know. Everything is charmed, and you always come out of it alive and more beautiful because of the experience of it. Seeing humanity's been on a long, long old mountain climb, blind as a bat, but feeling our way up that mountain. Knowing that we'd get our vision clear when we got up there. That's why we were doing it. Not just for the challenge of it, not just for the thrill of it, though thrilling it is, of course, to have that kind of confidence in the heart of the universe, in yourself. You become a mountain monkey then, and you can't be dislodged or dissuaded. You're on that mountain like a monkey on a banana, man, and you're not letting go of it till you've completed and accomplished what you're there for. See, we're already at the pinnacle now. See, we have made the climb. It's a past tense thing now. So there's not a reversal of flow. No, you don't have to go anywhere. Just be here now. Let it flow into you. Let it be you. See? Again, that's the secret why people climb mountains in the physical reality. Because they get an experience like that every time they top one of those peaks. A unity feeling. This is when you know the gracious love in the harshest places. And the highest places, the highest vibrations, make themselves apparent. And you really do. You feel in your heart that centering feeling that makes you the center of all creation for a little moment in time. But that moment lasts forever. That's where it all begins. And again, as you look around you, there's peaks everywhere. And people on top of them. And a unity rainbow between us all, which obliterates division and separation, and unifies and equitizes life in a very glorious and spectacular way. We made it all the way, babies. We didn't get knocked off the mountain by anything. And if we ever fell, we had the rope of recovery with us, and we brought ourselves right back up. And we kept on going till we got there, babies. That's the durability of the love in the human heart. That's the real way of life for all of humanity. That's what we're in it for. It ain't for the billions and gazillions of dollars we can make. It ain't for the love we can fake. It ain't for the goods we can gather. It's all about allowing yourself to make it, to have the motivation sincere inside of yourself so that you can trust it, to see that you are pure now in your intentions. Where there might have been pollution before, bless that and get on with it. You know, I don't stay in any particular place. I just let it keep flowing through me. I'm in constant state of change, aren't you? Yeah, see, we're all together in that. That's climbing the mountain. But see how far we've climbed? We've reached a point of completion, which is a beginning. Because this was when the blossoming treasure the angels have held in those high places, hidden from us for a long time, becomes to be revealed. And we begin to see the true earth, the true nature of the earth in which we have our birth in these pinnacle places. These tall places are natural nests for us angels. These are our little homes on the face of the Mother Earth. These are our accommodations at the height of her warm love, her grand Tetons, the mountains, and the prairies spreading out as an extension of the mountains, not the other way around, see. The high places are where everything begins and flows into the 3D, see. That's why we had to climb there. Not knowing that, of course, we were like Magoo, we were blind to it. We like to feel our way around in the dark, don't we? I mean, a lot of people can't make love without the complete darkness, man, and why is that? Well, some for reasons of shame, but mostly, in the deep way, it makes it a little more powerful, because you learn to feel it. You know, like Magoo, you know, you learn to feel your way through life to compensate for your lack of vision and clarity. You learn to trust your feelings in the darkness. You learn to see sparks fly. That love is a literal lightning thing, I mean, and all kinds of other sweet things, through the purity of the feeling of it, the blind nature of the darkness, which helps you see through feeling and bring feeling into being, to practice a certain aspect of creativity you didn't even know you had in yourself till it started come flowing out in those kind of moments, man. See, that's part of the climb that brought us here, man. Appreciating the mystery of the darkness, you know. But as we rise up, the truth is, the best love is made eyeball to eyeball, face to face, in the bright light of the sun, which shines in everyone, and there is no darkness. The darkness, the illusion of darkness, which is a concentration of light, has brought us to this point of appreciation for the feeling. It gave us the grounding, the rooting in the earth, in the organic side of things that we needed. It gave us then the steadiness and the sturdiness and the confidence to make this high climb, to return to the high places from which we descended at another time in another age, and became these human beings that we are, with the whole idea of bringing that right back up with us when we came back. The organic, raising it up, just like the Titanic. You thought it was sunk forever. The human heart was lost. But we were there to bring it back. The rescue crew, if you will. But that's all of humanity. Every heart. We all play our parts. We all have our essential energetic families that we resonate harmoniously with. And it kind of grows out from there until the harmony is in all of humanity. And then, of course, expands grandly beyond that. That's what we're here to experience in these pinnacle places. The same thing a mountain climber does when you finally get there. It all unifies. There's nothing like the view from way up there, even if the clouds obscure the valleys and so forth. You see the sky, you see the earth, you feel the union of it coming together, and now you start to understand what blossoming is. And the glowing sphere of life that radiates outward from you in all directions and unifies you with all the life around you, all your cousins out there, your brothers and sisters, achieving their own little pinnacle, their own little peak on their own, coming up from their own little valleys of hell, man, which look like paradise from up here now, don't they? Well, don't you wish you'd have brought your hang glider? Well, guess what? Yeah, you're growing some wings, baby. Told you wouldn't have to climb back down. You remain in this space forever. And it makes you light enough then to move throughout creation as you will. You're cut loose from the fixation with creation that holds you in any place or any time or any resonating thing that seems to have imprisoned you in some way. Anything that holds you back, in other words, just melts away. Because you can realize this moment in kind of a divine way. You allow yourself to feel of yourself as if this is divine. This person that you are is divine. Then perhaps you can allow the me-self to be it too. And nothing selfish about being the center of the universe if you're just allowing it to flow through you in this loving, motherly sort of way. Male or female, this is how we express and experience it. That's the unity factor. That's the thing we miss there, clamoring around in the darkness, as delightful as that might be. But here in the pure daylight of the heart, we look into one another's eyes, and it's the heart of creation we see, and unify the energies. So now, instead of just one at the center of an ever-present universe, there's two, which makes three, because the universe is three, the full expression of love. Always in three. That's how we be, naturally. Understanding, being, allowing this place to be sets you free from pain naturally, and any other aggravation that might be holding you back. It's the sunrise of your heart, the dawn of the golden age of truth, which of course is peace on earth, beginning right here in each one of us, and spreading out from there. And all you got to do is allow it to be. Just let yourself settle into it. Don't lie to yourself anymore. The incongruity was the illusion, the difficulty of climbing up a face that we really didn't have to, because when we got up to the top, we discovered a trail that we hadn't seen before. It came up from the backside. Would have been a lot easier now, wouldn't it? Yeah, and some people found it, and they're, up their own little peak that way. But we're like the coyotes. We like the challenge of a little tougher climb, because it's not tough. It's magic. And it makes us appreciate the magic of the guidance of our hands by our heart, compelled into being by the angelic presences that work with us as we make our way up that mountain, see? Auto magic. That's how we be. And that's how we be living forever now, because we finally found the means to allow it to be, to see that we have trusted it into being. Because it showed itself enough to us again and again. And showed is the right word. It's a little kid turned loose in a candy factory, babies. That same kind of delightful love. And now you know how appreciated you really are, and what the grand rewards of the universe are, what they've held in store for you in these high places, guarded over by some of the most gracious angels there could ever be, who protect you and your heart quite naturally, all the time, don't you see? Until you came here. Now you can see it clear. Now you can allow it to be. And the angels no longer have to deal with your fear. You're free. Now you can be the blossom of life, don't you see? Colorful and alive. God, don't you just love it? Salute, kids. Grandpa Coyote, the Coyote Medicine Show, loving you so on a Free Day Friday, in that rock and roll sort of way. Now we understand a little grander part of the plan, and we can allow it to be. That's what sets us free. Let this heart grow beyond the cavity you've kept it in. It's not a cave anymore, it's a chest of love. A rocket ship of life bursting forward in all directions, man, with an explosion of contented orgasmic creation. God, that's good coffee. Good morning to you, babies. It's the Coyote Medicine Show on Hazy Radio Network. The very center of your universal heart. It is Free Day Friday. I'm being free too, baby. How about you? You getting it on? I'll bet you is.